Okay, take two.
Take two.
Good evening, Emma. I guess I should say good night. Welcome to what we will now call formerly the Shadow Babies podcast. We are now the Fated Friends podcast, officially. We were born from a playground meet-cute, forged through a love of romantasy, and cultivated through after dark deep dives.
Yeah, Fated Friends.
Yeah. And so tonight we're going to talk about A Court of Silver Flames, Sarah J Maas's latest book of the ACOTAR series. And
I'm so excited.
Me too.
I just finished it, and this is the first time I read it. Did you actually read it in 2021 when it first came out?
Oh, no. It was already out. I think I read it in 2022.
Oh, nice. Okay.
Yes,
yeah. So you've been waiting since 2022.
Yeah.
For news of a next book.
Isn't it crazy how much like social media is exploding of like people analyzing every move, every previous book release, every previous teaser? And I get it. That means we are totally dedicated fans and we really want to know what's happening. But there's a part of me that's like, leave her alone. Let her do her work on her own time because she makes amazing work, amazing stuff.
I know. We might be making it worse.
Exactly.
Yeah, it might be adding some stress.
Absolutely. Leave the woman to her process in peace.
And then I didn't realize, because I just went to her website for the first time in my life.
Oh, yeah?
And noticed that the last, like, Crescent City of those books came out in 2024.
Yeah.
So it's like she's an
busy.
active writer.
Yeah. Because I was missing her and her content, let's say, I went back to a couple of old podcasts where she was interviewed, and one of them was that one that I posted on our Instagram stories.
What's it called?
Oh, it's called Smart Bitches Trashy Books.
Love it.
Yeah, I love it. And they interviewed her after A Court of Silver Flames was released.
Wow.
Yes.
Oh, I want to listen to that.
Yes. And then I listened to an older one. That was 88 Cups of Tea. And that was when she was only writing the third ACOTAR. So it was...
I love that 88 Cups of Tea interview.
Yeah, it's so good.
It's so long, too. She gets into every part of Sarah J Maas's career, her process, her as a teenager being basically like a gossip girl, high school student.
Yeah, in New York City, like living this life that just seems... Even the podcast host, Yin Chang, is like, your life needs to be a movie or a show. Like, this is hilarious and amazing, and I would watch it. And maybe that's what she's working on. Okay, everybody? Like, let's support whatever she's got going on because it's just going to be good and fun.
And then, like, she's a mom of young kids, which I think we can relate to so much.
So much.
Thinking about getting deep in your head over your stories and having huge blocks of time when you really want to be with your little kids.
Right.
Yeah.
This is time where they're never going to be this small ever again.
Yeah, and she is still actively writing. So.
Yeah, and you know what? I bet she's just also got such clout, and her team trusts her so much that they're not going to rush her because they know nothing good comes from being rushed.
I'm glad that you did post that podcast episode of the interview after Silver Flames, because for this I was looking up, I was just like Googling and trying to find like, were there any publications like about what were the reviews of this book, so I could get a sense of that. And it was just like blog post after blog post of people tearing it apart. And calling her like a terrible writer and all of this stuff. And it's like, she is a gift to us. This is like, she's blessing us with these books.
Absolutely.
She doesn't have to do this. She's probably made millions and millions of dollars.
Or at least enough to be happy and fine and like, yeah, exactly. What she's doing is a choice. And the harder people push and the more that there is undue criticism, like that kills creativity. That kills the soul. Like, leave her alone.
I feel like we're just two moms.
Yeah.
Like
defending her.
Defending a fellow mom.
Yes. On the playground. Like, leave her alone.
She's got a lot going on. You have no idea.
Absolutely. Get the woman a coffee. Schedule her a facial. Let her be. Okay? Yeah, I mean, and I think she also had like a lot going on when like ACOTAR was going to be a show, and that seemed to have gotten paused. I think she was probably writing another of the Crescent City books. Like, I think it's her style to also write multiple books at a time. So,
yeah, I'm willing to wait because I think
too.
it's going to be amazing.
Of course, she's not, you know, George R. Martin, where you're like, oh my God, is she going to die before the book comes out? No, she's okay, and we're all okay. Everyone, we're all going to be okay.
So did you reread this?
You know what? I didn't.
Oh, I was wondering, and I thought you wouldn't, actually. I thought that you would have it all in your head.
It is in my head. Oh, man. This book has really parked itself in my head. And I actually lent my physical copy to my new friend, Camellia, who is also a listener. Shout out. Hi. And she's she's been so sweet and supportive of this podcast. And
has she read all the other ones?
She's read all the other ones. She is deep in it.
Oh, great. And she hadn't read Silver Flames yet?
No.
Oh, amazing.
I
okay.
know.
Camellia, come back to us when you finish reading.
Yes, let's talk. And so she's got the physical copy. And so I actually, this morning, I listened to a book review from 2021. It was on YouTube with Books with Brittany.
Oh, okay.
She's really cute. And I liked her review. I thought it was a nice balance of loving the book, but also having a couple of critical thoughts that were fair. But I thought she had a really nice light approach, which was refreshing because my style can sometimes be to take things too seriously. So sometimes, or not sometimes, but I do think me not reading the book right before this was actually good because now I like have more of a rosy coloring to the book. I'm not like deep diving analytical and critical. I can just enjoy it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
I know that there are things that I also have issues with.
I want to hear what
book.
you think.
Yeah, I'm sure you you probably feel the same way about some of the things, and I think that's okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then there are things that I think are going to unfold in the story. Like I definitely am giving Sarah J Maas the benefit of the doubt. Yes. I don't think that what was written here should be taken at face value because it is a POV of Nesta.
Yes.
Yeah, so the unreliable narrator.
Right.
Yeah, and usually in ACOTAR books, you're getting, Rhys. You're getting all the different personalities of Rhys that he has to put outward because of, the different people that he is to all the different courts.
Right.
But then you're also getting him speaking directly to Feyre and giving his full inner point of view and why he's doing this.
Yes.
And we obviously aren't getting that with Nesta's book. So we're seeing a lot of crazy things.
Yes.
Yeah, but not fully getting his thought process and the true beneath it.
And also, yes, this is Rhysand being looked at from an outsider's perspective, someone who does not like him versus someone who has fallen in love with him. Two very different perspectives. And also, I like that. I find it interesting, though, that readers are like, oh, now I hate Rhys. Oh, my gosh. I used to say rice in my head.
Me too. His Rhysand. What the heck, Rhysand?
I know, my goodness. But yeah, like, I find it so funny that, readers can shift their opinions based on who the narrator is. And that's just, to me, proof of very good writing, right? To make you question how you really think and feel about something because the point of view and the character and her experience, her lens is so clear and so rich. When we first tried recording this episode, we were talking about...
Oh, well, I loved... You had some really... I have very plot-driven things in my questions
I love it.
for an outline, but I loved yours. And let me pull up the main question that I really liked that was in the beginning of yours was, as we begin this book, sort of, I think it's the prologue, where we're thrown into the Starfell celebration, and that's where Nesta comes in and is like the worst.
Yeah.
And everyone is just so, like, they want to work with her. They want to make it work. They're celebrating a special holiday, and she's just awful to everybody, just to be awful.
Yes.
And it is so frustrating. But then you also think of, as you're meeting Nesta more, you're understanding the differences of how Feyre came into this friendship inner circle of Rhys's court versus how Nesta's experience of coming into Rhys's inner circle.
Right.
Feyre was welcomed with open arms.
Yes.
Let's have a dinner party where you are the queen of the dinner party.
Well, and it was like Feyre was coming from absolute devastation, and her community, or this group of people who really wanted to become her community, were doing everything they could to rally around her and to support her. And she was so raw and vulnerable in what she experienced that I think she grabbed on to that support and allowed it to help her up. Whereas, Nesta's coming from a completely different place, also very traumatized, also very changed by what's happened to her, obviously from going into the cauldron and going from human to fae, but where Feyre had already a sense of acceptance and a desire to belong, Nesta has, even when she was human, has had this like literal steel shield around her mind. She intentionally wanted to be impenetrable. So instead of people being able to surround her and lift her up, she was like dead weight. She was an anchor. She did not want to be lifted up. So she needed to go about it in a completely different way.
Yeah. I mean, I feel like everyone had kind of like preconceived notions of Nesta because they, heard Feyre's position and how, the upbringing and, she sent Feyre into the woods as the youngest sister to go hunt for them while she stayed at home. Like, how horrible. So everyone is kind of judging her. So she's like, well, if that's what you think I am, then that's what I'll be to you. Like, I don't need to try to win your favor. Whereas, I mean, Feyre came into the inner circle of Rhys's court as the curse breaker, right? Is that what they called her?
The curse breaker. And Rhys was also already in love with her.
Right.
So it was like everyone wanted Rhys to be happy. So if they could be a part of helping this person who deserved to be loved, who deserved to understand how good and whole and wonderful she is, as she is, but also as someone who would make a person that they love even happier, or finally experience the happiness he has deserved this whole time. Like, they're going to do anything they can to make that happen. Yeah, you're right. Nesta was someone that they all judged for her lack of kindness and compassion towards her own sister, for her selfishness and her rigidity. And I mean, but it was true. She was selfish. She was rigid. She was disdainful and lacked any kind of compassion for her youngest sister. So it's almost like Nesta also believes their judgments of them. Because yes, in some ways they were true, but there's so much beneath her surface that she hasn't unpacked at this point at the very, very beginning.
It is just so clear in the beginning. And, as soon as you get inside of Nesta's head, you realize that you're dealing with someone who's had a lot of trauma and is also going through a deep depression. And kind of the fact that nobody in the inner circle can have empathy for that and see through sort of her bite, and can't be like, listen, like, let's work with you on this. I think maybe Feyre is the only one who truly understands.
Yeah, I think Cassian tried.
Oh, yeah.
In Court of Frost and Starlight. He called her out and she was like, no, I don't feel that way. I mean, her denial was so deep. Like, I'm not impacted. I'm fine. And when someone says that they're fine, they're not fine, right? And he's 500 years old. He's calling her bullshit, but she just doesn't want that right now. She can't allow it. Yeah.
It's kind of funny. Like, how you were just saying how, okay, everyone loved Feyre right away because she's Rhys's mate. Or Rhys has fallen in love with her, and then it comes out in that she's his mate. And everyone kind of knew because you can like smell it or something. You can
tell.
Yeah. But like Nesta is Cassian's mate.
Right.
Yeah. So, but nobody was willing to be like, well, let's make this happen for you, Cassian.
They're all like, oh, damn.
Yeah, she's the worst.
Sucks for you. Yeah. Right. Like in the book, right? Doesn't Cassian say something that totally like kind of breaks her brain? And he's like, you think I want to be attached to you for my whole life? And it's like, ooh, damn.
Yeah, rough, Cassian.
But it's like, she's also such a provocateur, right? She is pushing you and pushing you and pushing you until you explode. She's a gaslighter, Miss Nesta, in some cases. And, you know, you can't fault people for eventually reacting to being treated a certain way. And you teach people how to treat you.
Exactly.
So I know I said this earlier, but I'm going to reiterate it here too, because
we're starting over.
Because we're starting over.
We tried to do this on video and it was such a fail. We'll try again.
Maybe we'll get a cute little clip from it. I don't know.
I was thinking that too.
Yeah. But what I was saying earlier that I'll reiterate here is that this is a book in which, for me, it's the first time where a character's development from start to finish feels so complete. We all start at the beginning hating this woman, or this female, to understanding where she's coming from, to eventually rooting for her, to wanting to, you know, be around her and be curious about her. And Sarah J Maas, to her immense credit, did an incredible job of laying out Nesta's journey in a very real and deep and unhurried way. Healing should not be hurried. And I mean, theoretically, yes, she accomplishes a lot in less than a year. That seems a little unrealistic, but it's still a good chunk of time. It's not like some 36-hour period or some magical spell. It's time and work and evolution that we see unfold, and I really appreciate that.
Yeah, did you see that Sarah J Maas modeled Nesta's story kind of after her own experience with anxiety and depression?
Right. Yeah. She mentions in her podcast interview, like, she started therapy and it really gave her a new lease on life in terms of identifying what she was feeling and then having tools to cope.
I mean, I loved the very specific tools that she calls out. I mean, Nesta goes through a workout journey.
Yes.
Yeah, she develops new hobbies.
Yes.
She leans into her romance reading.
She meditates.
Yeah, she meditates.
She makes friends.
Yeah.
She's working on her vagus nerve, if any of you know what that is.
And she gives up alcohol.
Yes,
yeah.
Exactly. She abstains from the worst things that were making her condition more flared up and more irritable to really taking care of herself. It's really beautiful and admirable and fucking hard, she proves over and over again. The desire her desire to get down those 10,000 steps to get a freaking glass of wine, like, I get it. And then you just hit a wall and you're like, oh, okay, I can't do it.
And then the time that she finally gets all the way down and she's like, oh, I could go outside. And then Cassian's upstairs and she's like, I'll just walk all those 10,000 steps
He's
back
worth
up.
it. He's worth it. Yeah, it's amazing.
It's great.
It's so
I love Cassian in this. I love their whole love story.
I do too. How did you feel? We'll get to this question. How did you feel about all the smut?
Oh, gosh. I mean... I think you and I have you have that, so you wanted to do, the podcast was originally your idea.
Yes.
And then as we're doing it and I'm realizing that I never talk about the smut.
It's okay.
And it's probably kind of a big part of the stories. I mean, what I kind of love about the fact that there is real sex in these books is that it's like real life.
Yeah.
You know? Yeah. Something could be really stressful going on, but everyone has sex. People have sex.
Yeah.
And this is what a real relationship looks like.
Yeah, especially one that's blossoming and you're like obsessed with each other and you're stealing glances and like literally undressing each other with your eyeballs. Like, I love that. It's so exciting and fun and but I get it. It's very graphic. Like, it
was very graphic. That's why I took such a pause. Yeah. I was like, I am not in the place in my life where I can be reading this right now.
No, I totally get you. And that Books with Brittany review, she even mentions like, okay, maybe some of you feel this way too. I think some of you feel this way too. That I just had a question. Is this what erotica is? You know? And I thought it was really cute. I mean, she's like, it's porn on paper.
Yeah.
And it's like, yeah, how else do people have sex? Naked. Maybe. Sometimes they're not naked. But like, it's raw and real and like guttural. And Fae are animals deep down.
Yeah.
So they're going to let it out and be feral. And that can be hot. And yet, it's a lot. It's a lot.
Mm-hmm. It does show you more of Nesta's personality, though,
Absolutely.
because she's like a super sexual person.
She loves sex.
Yeah, which is like a big part of her.
Yes.
And you get it. Like, you get the fact that she's like always reading smut and then also and talking to her friends about it.
Yeah, and she masturbates and she like it definitely normalizes another kind of main female character.
I wondered if Sarah J Maas had like someone who helped her with these, because the scenes just seemed so different than the like previous scenes.
I know.
And I was like, did you get like a consultant for these?
I don't know, because she talks about in the podcast episode of Smart Bitches Trashy Books that she wrote a nasty, like hot, nasty threesome scene between her, Nesta, Cassian, and Azrael.
Oh my God.
I know. And she was like, I had to cut it. It was like...
this book?
Yes. And she's like, I know. She's like, my editor is like super sex positive and like supportive of all things, you know, owning your sexuality and owning your body. But I wrote that scene and I was like, nope, I can't do this to her.
Sometimes I guess you have to write it.
Yeah, I mean,
see what it would look like.
Like, yeah, does the pasta stick to the wall? Among other things. And so, yeah, I think she really, it's in there.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah. You go, girl. That doesn't mean she has to do it, but that's what fantasy is, right? To think about it and imagine it. And you know what I can appreciate with Sarah J Maas, just in her writing in general, is like, I think she writes and understands things spatially. Like when she's describing what people are doing, whether it's a battle or a sex scene, right? I can actually see it happening. Whereas in some books, they're describing things and I'm like, huh? How did that get over there? How does that end up back there? Or how are they doing this? You know, like sometimes the description, I'm like, I think they need to workshop this with two real people.
Yeah.
You know?
No, I actually, that was my thought with like maybe the first time Cassian and Nesta had sex, I was like, oh, like this is like real sex.
Yeah.
Like, this feels like a real moment that people would have versus, I don't know, some of the other ones. Like it just felt like, I don't know, you're more active, you're moving around. Like, this is like what it is, like what happens.
Yes.
I appreciate
the birds
it.
and the bees. If you don't know it now, read this book and you'll get it. And it's like, who doesn't want to imagine two hot people having sex? That's what, in a lot of ways, pornography is in this not this country only, but in the current culture. So,
I was listening to. I was telling you about this podcast. It's so cute. It's called Feeling Thorny.
Yeah.
I like love them.
I know you're a fangirl.
Yeah, I'm such a fangirl for them. So it's like a husband and wife, and the wife is like a super SJ Maas reader. She like knows so much. She's like an expert, and then her husband's like never read it, which is fun.
That's
like
cute.
Yeah, I think it's so cute. And then he's like so game to like read along. So they do like chapter by chapter. But she was saying, and I thought this was like such a good point, that you can feel SJM's scenes so much more, and she was specifically talking about like a battlefield scene or like an adventure scene because of the character development, because you like know Nesta so much, so you truly understand like what she is going through in this moment.
You feel with them.
Like this was in specifically talking about the Kelpie. Is that what it is?
Tell me more.
Remember the scene, where they go to that creepy bog?
Oh, yeah, the Kelpie.
Yeah. Kelpie. I know, it's like, that doesn't sound right.
Kelpie is a mayonnaise.
So the Kelpie scene.
Yes. Oh, that was so
and
gross.
it was so scary.
When he sticks his tongue down her mouth.
I know.
I gagged reading that.
Exactly. It was disgusting, and just like imagining, or like his like white, long, huge body coming out at her and like stealing her
nasty.
in. Yeah, and like, I actually like really liked that scene because I was so scared.
Yes.
And I like hate horror.
Me too.
Yeah.
Too. Oh my God, no. Yeah.
Yeah, but it was like good scare because I was like, I am safe. This is a Kindle.
Yeah.
Like,
It's not, I'm like seeing it, but I'm not seeing it, right? Like I'm just imagining it. Yeah.
yeah, exactly. But yeah, I thought that was such a good point because it is like, oh, I like feel like I totally am in Nesta's head through this scenario.
Plus her description, like I feel physically there, like how things feel, how things smell, how the moss was like up against her body, like just it's so visceral. Her writing is incredibly visceral.
I know, it's like the Throne of Glass. Well, I forget, like, I'm halfway through that series.
It's a long series.
But I need to get back into it because, like, I love it so much.
Good.
It's so good.
Yeah.
But, yeah, I feel like, I forget, like, Queen of Shadows or something. I think I'm on the 5th one, and I just started the 5th one. But I think, like, the 3rd and 4th one, every single page you have to turn. Like, it is so yeah, it's so exciting.
It's, like, incredible. Yeah.
Yeah, maybe that's the one that I feel like I do have one that everyone says is really good still coming up, so I'm excited.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't want the best behind me.
No,
Yeah.
not even close. Like it just gets better and better.
I also heard that one of the Crescent City ones is like everyone's favorite SJM book.
I wonder which one.
Do you feel like that?
I do love. Well, okay, I like that trilogy. I guess it's currently a trilogy, but she might make one more. It's different. There are so many more characters. Like there are a lot of characters in ACOTAR, but I feel like I can hold all of them in my head. Whereas sometimes in Crescent City, there are so many that it can be hard to keep them all present and important. But I would say House of Earth and Blood on its own was incredible. Just incredible. Like how she balanced everything, and the depiction of female friendship is so good and beautiful, and you know, the experience of grief and yeah. I don't know though that it would be my favorite. I still think ACOTAR is my number one, probably because it was the first series of hers that I read. But
ACOTAR is your number one. I think one of the Throne of Glass ones is probably my number one right now. Although actually this book was so good.
It's really good.
Yeah, I'm so surprised.
Yeah.
Like that Silver Flames might be my number.
Ooh.
I think it's definitely my number one in the series.
Okay.
Although it's like the
Better
freshest.
than number two.
I'm surprised that I just said that.
Yeah.
But to think that this is better
freshest.
than Mist and Fury. But yeah, it is the freshest. I feel like,
Yeah.
like I just got a new SJM book essentially.
I
So
know.
that was really fun.
Isn't it so sad when it's over?
Yeah, I was depressed.
I know.
Yeah. But I have so much ahead of me.
Yes.
Yeah, I
you
feel like I'm
do.
lucky because I it's so funny. Oh my God. So
Tell
I
me.
needed to tell you this. Okay, so, and there's like so much to get into, like plot wise, and I'm sorry that we're jumping around.
It's okay.
But when we were doing ACOTAR and I was telling you like, oh my goodness, I think the most romantic thing of the entire book is the fact that Feyre and Rhys made this pact where they're going to die together.
When
And
you said that, I was like, keep it straight, Veronica. Lock it up.
I
Don't
wondered,
reveal anything.
I know, I couldn't think if you had said like, I'm excited for you to read Silver Flames. Like,
Yeah.
if you like gave me a hint.
Nope.
But yeah,
I
like,
tried really hard.
no, in that moment, I was like, this is beautiful just to like know that and have that in your heart. And I am a mom and I didn't even think about how dumb that is. like, if I die, you die, and we just leave our children behind.
Yeah, like, they'll be fine. Amren will watch them.
Right. Who's going to watch them and love them the same way a parent would? I don't know. And then, the fact that they're also like the king and queen, like the high lady and high lord, and like, oh, then we'll just like wash them out, and who is going to take over the night court?
Who's the heir? Yeah,
Right.
yeah. Like hopefully not Moore's dad because he sucks. What's his name?
I forget. I don't need to remember.
We don't need
Court
it.
of Nightmares, man.
That guy.
Oh, Kier.
Kier.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that was wild. And then when Amren was like, I have so much to talk to you guys about how like that is the dumbest thing I've ever heard.
Like, God, you're such idiots. Like,
but I guess it's true.
Yeah.
And I wonder if there are future books, which we hope there are, how that is going to impact, because you kind of can't put either of them in a very threatening situation.
well, I do wonder if by Feyre essentially like being one breath away from dying, maybe they can create a new pact, because it's a deal, or it's, there's got to be a way to override it.
Yeah. And wasn't it like a very kind of vague deal? Whereas usually the deals are very specific.
Right. Yeah. I think, I'm going to think on this, and I'm going to trust Sarah J Maas's brilliance to work her way backwards and be like, all right, we don't want them to die. So how do I make that possible? I think she'll figure it out.
That is why this like Aquar Silver Flame situation where the pact that I thought was like the most beautiful thing I've ever heard, and then realized how absolutely
dangerous and stupid it is. Yes.
Exactly. And it's like she actually was. Did you think of that in Aquar? That it wasn't the best idea?
I didn't think of it at the time. I didn't put two and two together.
I know, and you're usually so on top of, you see through all the things.
I do. But because one of my qualms with A Court of Silver Flames was, and you've probably seen this in other social media platforms, how is it possible that the most powerful magical beings can't perform a C-section?
No, that's a whole thing. Okay. I'm excited to talk about it.
Come on.
Yeah. Okay. Well.
Yes.
Do you want to kick us off?
On this topic?
On this topic?
Yeah.
This is my biggest critical issue with the book.
Yeah. I mean, my guess is she couldn't think of anything better, but I don't understand how. Cassian literally was eviscerated in one of the battles where his guts were hanging out and Az was holding them together, and he survived this, but we can't make a surgical incision to gently excise a baby out of a mommy's womb. Come on.
Oh, I know. And I mean, the whole thing of, well, it has wings, and you are shape-shifting, and that's why you have a wing, like, Illyrian baby.
Yeah, but we're not going to risk you shape-shifting again.
You can't shape-shift again, even though you might die. Like, what?
Yeah,
you both might die.
Yeah, like, could we try?
Why don't we try?
Yeah.
Give it a try. Maybe at the moment where the baby's coming out, shape-shift them. He's fully formed.
Right.
Yeah, he's grown up.
Yeah, she can literally recreate Illyrian wings with her imagination and magic, but she can't modify her pelvis shape just a little bit.
Yeah, huge plot holes with all of that.
I disagree.
Or maybe not plot holes, but this is just the information that we got from Nesta, who absolutely was not paying attention to this.
No.
Like, she found out her sister probably was going to die in childbirth, and her only nephew, she's the one to know it's a nephew, and then like immediately after, I think she like blows Cassian. It's like,
hello.
Are you thinking about something else right now?
Nope. Nope. Sexual beast Nesta is like, well, we'll deal with that later.
Yeah, it's like such an afterthought of her throughout. She's like training, she's making friends, she's reading her books.
But wouldn't you say, like, now that you're a mom, before you were a mom, you were just pretty dumb and oblivious to how a mom would even feel?
Well, yes, absolutely.
So, yeah.
But your sister has a seriously high-risk pregnancy, and you're not going to, like, check in. How are you feeling?
It's still Nesta.
I guess.
Yeah.
I don't know. But she truly loves Feyre. That's why she is so angry with herself, because she messed up so much previously.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's tough.
That was like wild to me.
Yeah. I didn't quite, and I wish we had gotten a little more Elain. She's just kind of like flitting in a little bit, has a couple of jokes.
Oh, well, I have thoughts on that. Yeah.
Tell me.
Okay, so I saw this thing on Instagram, and it was like super old Facebook threads of Sarah J Maas responding to like some fan theories.
Oh.
And I actually wish that I had it all written out. But essentially what she's saying is she was excited to write additional books in the ACOTAR series because Feyre was going to be the trilogy. And then, two sisters. Basically, both sisters are coming into this new world of Fae very differently. And she has always said that Elain's an interesting character because she had her like happily ever after, her fairy tale ending ripped away from her, and she might react in a certain way to that. So
Interesting.
you think Nesta is this like angry, like anti everyone, like someone to like watch out for. Everyone's always like got their eyes on her to see if she's gonna like blow something up.
Yep.
Yeah, and then who nobody's watching is
Elain.
sweet gardener Elain. Yeah,
Who can see everything because she's a seer.
exactly, and who is mysteriously missing often.
Yes.
Yeah, what is
What's
she
she
doing?
doing?
Yeah.
That's good.
Yeah.
Oh, it makes me so excited for what comes of it.
I know. Everyone is like, oh, like Elaine's so lame. Like, watch her be like the most devious.
Absolutely. Was it you? Did we talk about it here yet? Like that you think Elain could be a bad guy? I just think so. Like in romantasy, I mean, it's going to be a romantasy book, but in romance, you always have to have a happy ending, right? That's the number one rule. What if Elaine's happy ending is just choosing herself? Like her whole human life was, who am I going to fall in love with? Who's going to rescue me? Who's going to sweep me off my feet? Who is going to provide a happy, beautiful life for me so that I can just garden and wear my pretty dresses? Like she really was a pretty simple human being, I think. And yeah, I would be curious to see if becoming Fae unlocks a door of complexity in her. And like she probably has a lot of questions for herself.
Yeah, I mean, I think there's a little more to her than I thought before. I saw this other thing that was like, oh, okay, so Feyre came back to kind of warn them in ACOTAR, like, these are the things that are happening. There might be a war. You always have to like watch out. And Elain goes and gets a fiance who has like a trove of ash arrows and like a bunker.
Right.
Like she's just like, okay, I got that.
Yeah. She is. Which you're like, was that intentional, or did she really just fall in love with someone who happened to have this like fortress?
I feel like there was some strategery
Yeah,
there.
I think she's smarter than
I know. I think the Elain book is going to be so cool.
I kind of hope she doesn't choose, like, everyone's like, Azrael, Lucian. What if girlfriend just chooses herself?
Yeah.
What if she's a lesbian?
Yeah.
And she and Moore become a power couple?
Great. I love it.
Let's do it.
Yeah. And then, people have thoughts about Moore too.
Yeah.
Being,
Or maybe she's not, maybe she's bisexual like Moore. That would be an interesting book.
I bet Sarah J Maas has those chapters.
Yeah. I think she has a lot of chapters that have been on the cutting room floor.
One more thing about the whole pregnancy of it all. And this is where I really want to give Sarah the benefit of the doubt here, because it was pretty evil of Rhys not evil. It was pretty astonishing, I would say, of Rhys not to share with Feyre the whole story of her high-risk pregnancy with her body. I mean, we are obviously coming from a place of, the Northeast, in like a pretty liberal area. Yeah. But even, abortion aside, not to know exactly what is going on in your body during a pregnancy. And like I, as someone who, had 2 high-risk pregnancies, it's like I am going to need to know everything happening. I am the one who's Googling and looking at the specialists and, figuring it out. Body. Exactly. And doing the mental work to prepare for a crazy birth, like to not give her that, to not have her understand exactly what's going on. And Feyre, the most powerful being who has been given magic from every High Lord, don't you think she might have some thoughts? Yeah. Yeah, why are we letting Rhys do all of the research?
Yeah. I wonder, too, I mean, I agree with you. I think it's a pretty ugly showing for Rhys, and demonstrates that even the most wonderful book boyfriend is flawed deeply. And I have a couple of thoughts. I think if we maybe zoom out and we recognize, like, he's 530 something, she's 21. And I think in that moment, he let his age and experience probably get the best of him and allowed his natural arrogance to take over. Like, I don't want to worry her. She's very, very young. I'm going to handle it. Which is pretty on brand for somebody who continually self-sacrifices. Okay, I can give that to him, and I can at least understand it even if I don't agree with his actions. the other thing is, I think he really, really wanted to come up with a solution. He wanted to figure out a way to be both honest with her and deliver devastating news that he then found, you know, the solution for. Because I've been in that situation in much lighter, you know, situations, though, where maybe I come up against a problem that involves somebody else and I think, well, I don't need to bother them right now. Let me see if I can figure it out myself. Did he apply that appropriately? No, but I think I could see maybe where he was coming from there. And then, like you said earlier, we're only seeing it from the outside this time. We don't get those internal, like, mind-to-mind conversations. So we don't really know the nuance of what's happening between them and how much Feyre might even suspect it herself. But there's probably a little denial or unsureness, or maybe they've even danced around the topic before and Rhys just hasn't been ready to be honest. I don't know. I'm obviously conjecturing about these fictional characters, but yeah, that's what I think of that.
I mean, I see that definitely in, like, when you were saying, like, someone who self-sacrifices and wants to just like, I'll solve it, don't worry.
Yes.
Like, I don't know, just like, that is so egregious to me to think about taking ownership of somebody's body like that and not giving them the autonomy to know exactly what's going on. I mean, I would assume as a medical professional, there's probably a lot of times where maybe you're not going to tell somebody the very worst case scenario of every single thing because it's such a low chance that we can talk about it later. I don't need to like plow this on you right now.
Exactly.
So yeah, you probably have like a much different perspective than like a lay person like me. However, Rhys, not a surgeon.
No.
Not in the medical profession.
No.
So yeah, so I was really appalled, and obviously Feyre was so upset to find out.
Yes.
When, you know, Nesta told her not even to
worst
be
way.
like, yeah, like, hey, sister to sister, like,
I'm
I
worried.
care about you. I'm
Yeah.
worried about you. I want you to know I think it's wrong. She did it to hurt her, to be like,
Exactly.
look, these aren't your friends.
Yeah.
They're keeping this from you because they kept something from me and I'm mad about it.
Right. Like, talk about egregious behavior. She meets egregious behavior with egregious behavior. So it is over and over again hard to love her because she just struggles to be the bigger person.
Yeah.
Over and over again. And then she hates that about herself, but she can't stop herself. So it is interesting because, yeah, was I like kind of pissed off and thought it was out of character for Rhys to do what he did? Absolutely. But then I'm like, well, Nesta did nothing to redeem herself either. So
Yeah. I mean, to Nesta, she was 25.
Yeah.
So I can, I don't know. When you're 25, you say dumb things.
Totally.
Yeah.
We say dumb things. I say dumb things now, and I'm 35. Like, I'm going to say dumb things on occasion my whole life. And so it's an interesting place to be like, where do I give you grace? And where do I really push back? And where do I not say anything? You know, it's hard.
Yeah. Or you could just, like, in anger, spill it all out as like a dagger to somebody's heart.
Yeah. And just crush them.
While they're pregnant.
While and they're most vulnerable, and then they find out devastating news, and then they have that secret of we're gonna now die all together.
Yeah.
Me,
Great.
my baby, and my mate. Thanks.
Okay, this is why I want to give SJM the benefit of the doubt here, because again, just as you said, this is one POV.
Yes.
We're not seeing what's going on in Rhys's head. I was wondering thinking that Feyre had the vision of the bone carver as the young boy who was her son, who does not have wings. So she has that as like a personal memory that is like just for Feyre. And so it was something when she found out about this, she was like, it kind of all makes sense because he didn't have wings and that was my son.
Right.
Yeah. And then so I wondered if perhaps Rhys had a similar like vision or view or saw something or had a premonition that it was all going to work out and he just had to like not tell her or
punting it down the road a little bit.
Exactly. It was all going to work out and like just don't whatever do something like let it be and then it'll work.
Right.
I wondered if I'm hoping that it's something like that that there is, because I just can't imagine. I think SJM says that she likes him, that he is a character she likes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do I think that this one choice that he made undoes everything good about him? I don't. Some people might. Some people might think that this singular thing that he did is enough to reverse all of the good that he's done. But I would disagree.
I think it just, the way I saw it from this book made me think he does not think highly enough of Feyre. He does not see her. It made me think he does not see her as an equal to not give her that information about her own body.
I would trust, though, that like that he made a mistake and that they had words, and he's never going to do that again. I think he's a male who is able to evolve. I mean, again, we're, conjecturing here, but like it takes work on both sides for Feyre to be like, what the fuck, man, that was messed up. And he has to be like, you're right, that was really messed up. I see what I did. And then for Feyre to be like, I hear you, I believe you, and now I trust you're not going to do it again.
And I trust you're not going to do it again. Like, that is so huge.
Right.
It's just, I am also coming from a place where I did have, like, I just had the high-risk pregnancy.
Right.
So
it's touching a nerve.
It's touching a nerve. So just to imagine Dave getting all of the medical information and not telling me and being like, I will figure this out for you.
Especially because you're the doer. You solve the problems. You
and it's my body.
Yes.
Like I should be like, there's a lot of different options and things. And you have to weigh the pros and cons. Like there's no one perfect solution in that kind of situation. So you have to pick what's right for you.
I will say, maybe I'm not remembering appropriately or correctly here. I think the healer, Magda, was like, don't tell her yet. Because she wanted to figure it out. She wanted to figure out if there was a way. Because she told Rhys, and Rhys, or was it that she told Rhys and then Rhys said, don't tell her yet? I can't remember. But they had an exchange where it was like, okay, now we have this information. Let's not scare anybody.
That's just so insane to me. That's like 1950s.
Yeah. I mean, this is definitely not your modern times. And I hear you being very upset,
you're right. Yeah.
But it's like, okay.
I guess you're right. Like, it's not modern times. So that's like what would happen. That's gross. But, wow. It's like that's correct, I guess.
Yeah.
For historical accuracy.
Right. Assuming that this is like technically anachronous, but like.
That's so funny. You're so smart. Yeah.
There's no technology. There's no constitution. There's no like
women's rights.
I mean, they do, Sarah J Maas does make it clear that like Illyrians are incredibly backwards and have very poor views of women.
But Rhys is not that. He
still comes from that. I mean, you wonder too, like, if of his context, like, are there biases that he's probably fighting? There are biases and things that we're all fighting. So this is why, and I can definitely hear and understand, like, I didn't have high-risk pregnancies, so I don't feel as attached to this character's experience, whereas I see that you do. And I have had other visceral reactions to things that feel more intense to me. Like, again, it's really proof that this woman writes to touch your soul. Like, she is getting deep in there and wanting you to experience and emote and to have your own opinion on what's happening, because you just care so much.
Yeah, and this is like the morally gray.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Like, they're not a white knight.
Right. Yeah. Like, not everything is so straightforward. If it was, it would be super boring.
It would be. And also, like, he wouldn't be Rhys, because he's done fucked up stuff. He's even said, I will be a monster to save everybody else. I don't care if you think I'm evil, and I don't care if I do evil things, as long as I believe what I'm doing is for the best, for the people that I love. And that's what he was doing with Feyre. And it did make him a little bit toxic. And it absolutely led to some problematic choices in behavior and lacking in communication. But again, it's
Did you see a bug?
I did. Did you notice that?
Yeah.
Yeah. That's okay.
You're okay?
I'm okay.
Okay.
It went away from me. So.
Okay. I'm sorry.
It's okay. totally okay.
Well, I think that was a great conversation.
I do too.
For it.
That was good. That was really good.
Yeah.
Do we want to, because there's so much to talk about.
There is so much to talk about, and it's 10.
I know.
I wouldn't mind even coming back and making this one episode. Or I guess we could do a 2-part. I think we could do 2-part. Okay, so maybe we wrap it up somehow.
This is pre-Valkyrie. This is a pre-Valkyrie conversation. We have not gotten into Nesta's actual friendships. Or the actual plot of this trove and Briolin.
I know, I love all of that.
It's so cool.
Yeah. All right. Basically, we're just ending it because it's 10 o'clock and we're tired.
Yeah, we're tired. We both have work the next day or tomorrow, but so much fun.
I know. I love this. Yeah. Thanks for coming over. We were supposed to do this remotely in practice, and
we're going to keep trying. But thank you for listening. Thank you for being here. I'm Veronica, and this is the beautiful Emma. And we are wrapping up part 1, pre-Valkyrie times, of A Court of Silver Flames. If you're listening, if you want to be engaged, if you want to share your opinions on these things, because we touch some nerves in good ways in terms of conversation, I know we would love to hear from you and hear your thoughts. Say hi. Tell us what you think. Add some questions, that you might have, and find us on Instagram at Shadow Babies Podcast, or on Pinterest, or even YouTube.
Yeah. You can email us at shadowbabiespodcast@gmail.com.
I think so.
Yeah. I think that's our email. It is.
That's the one. But I guess now, thanks for being a part of our first Fated Friends official.
Yeah, Fated Friends.
Yeah. Woohoo! Woo! Good night.